Hello, good day, and good evening. I am Angelica, a third-year student taking a Bachelor of Science in Information Technology, majoring networking. In this video, which is for our Advanced Database System subject, we are tasked to do a video tutorial on how to install these following applications. We have XAMPP, MySQL Community Server 8, MySQL Workbench, and SQLYog. All of those apps would have their varying purposes and uses for the upcoming activities we would have on the aforementioned subject. They all are a medium to navigate through and manipulate data on a databases. I have managed to get into your school's learning management system. The subjects as well as the activities are uploaded here. Hence, it is convenient and efficient. The specific subject I'm looking for, though, is Advanced Database Systems Lab. The links for the applications to be downloaded is in there, so I did click on that one. The required applications is all displayed here, as you can see. Firstly, I would be downloading XAMPP. Here is a link to redirect us to XAMPP's official website. Here, it is already displayed, and we have different versions available for it. But I did click on the first version on the first column, and it is downloading now. It is 159 MB, so downloading this may take a while. Now just gonna wait for it to completely download. Downloading is already done. The application is now ready for installation. We have to click OK. And it should start the setup page. The setup page is now already displayed. I would have to click on next. I would also have to uncheck the MySQL here, as you would install a separate one later in this video. Next, if you do not wish to change its location, then leave it as default. Now we should be clicking on next to start the installation process. Have to get back. Okay. Now click on next. And now the installation process has just begun. The installation process may take a while. In my case, it did took a long time, so we have to wait. And then I just got it off directly to the end to save up some time. It's okay. You have to wait and then click finish to officially finish it from installing. Okay, it should start any moment now. Now here, XAMPP is ready to be used. Now that XAMPP is already successfully installed, I would go to the given links again to direct me to the MySQL Community Server 8 page. Here's what I'm looking for. Just have to click on this one. Here it is displayed. Next is I would have to navigate through the download page to start my download. Here it is, and there are two installers available. I would be clicking on the first one. The download should start after you click the button. Now it is done, and it's ready for us to install. Now we will have to wait for Windows to finish configuring the MySQL installer. The setup page is now displayed. I was asked to choose a setup type though, and I would want to click on the custom because I would manually select the products I would like to be installed in the system. Hit next. Here I'm only meaning to install MySQL Server 8, Workbench, and Shell, and all of their respective newest versions. Now clicking on the newest version of MySQL Server 8 and dragging it to the right. I would have to do the same thing on the MySQL Workbench. I would click on Applications, find MySQL Workbench newest version, and drag it to the right. Like this. The products to be installed can be seen on the right corner. So far we have MySQL Server 8 and MySQL Workbench. And lastly, we have the MySQL Shell. I would click on this one and drag its latest version to the right. I now already successfully chosen them. Now click on Next, and all of them are now ready to be downloaded. Just gonna click Execute to start the process. Now that it's already done downloading, we have to click Next to start the installation process. This process took quite some time, so we have to wait. After it has successfully been installed, it would lead us to the configuration part. We'd have to just click on Next again. We'd have to leave this as default, so I would click on Next. Next, there is the MySQL root password, which is required. You would make one. Now after that, you would click on Next. So far, we have completed 4 out of the 5 steps required. We already chosen the products manually, configured it, and made MySQL root password. Now we would click on Next. In this page, it will apply all the configuration, and we would just have to click on Execute to start the process and apply all the changes. After it is done, click on Finish. Next, and Finish. The MySQL shell is now displayed, and the MySQL Workbench. Now we would try to connect to the MySQL server. They would require the root password to be able to do so, so I did type it in. Now MySQL Workbench is ready to be used. I'm now here in LMS again, and clicking on the link that was given by a professor, so here it is. We have the serial text to be used later on, and the different versions of SQLYog. we have the 64-bit and the 86-bit. I would choose to download the 64-bit. The download should start right away. After it is done downloading, we should click it to start the installation process. The setup page is now displayed. We'll click on Next. The license agreement that we have to accept upon, so click it, and then hit Next. I'm gonna be leaving this as default and we'll be clicking Next. If you do not wish to change the location, leave it as it is. I would leave it as default and hit Install. Now let the process finish and hit Next again and click Finish. This part asks for name and license key. And the license key was already provided on the Google Drive. You would just have to open it, copy, and paste it on the license key field. After that, I would click on Register. Now that I am successfully registered, I will try to connect to the MySQL server. This time, it will need the root password again. So, I would type that in. And click Connect. The SQLYog is now ready to be used.